This episode is brought to you by our good friends at NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV. I'm sure by now you've all gotten back into your Sunday routines, but they could be even better. With NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you get the most live NFL games all in one place, every game, every Sunday. And you can even watch up to 4 different games at once with multi-view, one of my favorite inventions of this decade. It's exactly what you need to catch all the action, make your Sundays more magical, and also YouTube TV is great. I got it this year. It's awesome. Sign up now at youtube.com/BS. Device and content restrictions apply. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games.
School is back, and Dick's Sporting Goods has what you need to win your year. We've got everything from cleats to Sambas, dunks, and more. Plus, the hottest looks from Nike, Jordan, and Adidas. Find your first day fits in-store or online at dicks.com.
Their vision is what we call just operate in place. If it's a kicker, you must place the ball through the uprights. If it's a punter, if it's a directional punt, or if it's a pooch punt, you must place the ball properly.
In this episode of Coaching Coordinator this season, we talk with Bill Brest, who is the special teams coordinator and defensive line coach at Grove City College. Grove City has done an amazing job of turning the program around and becoming a nationally ranked team. Coach Brest has been with the program for 6 years and coordinates all of the special teams units. Today, he's going to share some ideas with us on how they install and practice special teams, what the field layout looks like for them, their game week schedule for practice, their game planning each week, and then their specialist vision and responsibility. Here's my conversation with Bill Brest, special teams coordinator at Grove City College.
At BlueNile.com, you can find endless ways to make your moments sparkle. From classic and timeless jewelry gifts to creating the custom engagement ring of her dreams, all at prices you won't find at a traditional jeweler. And right now, you can save up to 40% on fine jewelry and 25% on engagement ring settings during the Blue Nile Anniversary Sale, going on now. Go to BlueNile.com to shop the Blue Nile Anniversary Sale and save up to 40%. That's BlueNile.com.
On today's episode of the season, we put the focus on special teams, and we're going to talk about the install of special teams, what that looks like, especially heading into the season. We'll talk about game week schedule, game planning, and then dig into specialist vision and responsibility. And joining me to discuss all those things is Bill Brest, who is the special teams coordinator at Grove City College. Those guys are doing an incredible job there. Coach Brest spoke at the D3 clinic and was really impressed with his presentation there as well. So, Coach, thanks for taking the time here during the season to join us and share some insight into special teams.
Well, thanks for having me. And so the first bullet point we'll talk about is the install philosophy that we have with special teams. The one thing is, there was a landmark study where it says 13 to 17% of your game snaps and seasonal snaps are special team snaps. And I campaign with this with head coach. We actually get 20% of special team practice time in practice, which is pretty awesome. And we basically have 4 to 5 special team periods per practice. And what is unique, especially in camp and spring ball, both areas where we're installing, I pretty much double dip special teams install. So as an example, on the defensive side of the field, the defensive coaches are working with, if it's a kickoff day, all the kickoff drills and techniques. But on the offensive side of the field, we'll do the opposite, kickoff return. And our coaches are working with the guys on their offensive coaches working with our return units. So both sides of the field are being utilized, and really it's given us a double periods, and we're multiplying times 2 our install, which is pretty great. So as an example, kickoff drills on the defensive side of the field, on the offensive side of the field, kickoff return drills. If it's a punt return day, punt on the defensive side of the field with the defensive coaches, punt return with the offensive coaches on the offensive side of the field, and also PAT field goal and block. So our offensive line coach is working with our PAT guys on the offensive side of the field, defensive coaches, we're working with the block techniques. Another thing is, and I think this is a great question for high school coaches and as well as even the college coaches, is how do you handle guys that are standing around? And it's part
Always a
of our
great question.
install, how we focus on that. So if I have punt 1 versus punt 2, our head football coach and our defensive coordinator, I don't want to give them duties or like in our offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. I don't want to give them a lot of duties during practice, but during those times, especially in camp, we will have our freshmen and maybe our 4s and 5s go down with the head football coach and the defensive coordinator on the other side of the field and mirror my practice plan and do the same calls that we do versus their own scouts. So everybody, whether it's 100, 120, 150, 60 guys, whatever it is, all are getting reps and all are getting on film. So we do that to really utilize every coach, every player. We utilize every space on the field that we can. But then you get into game week practice and schedule for special teams.
Coach, just thinking of what you described there and field layout. So you mentioned, okay, you're going to have maybe kickoff going one way, kick return going the other way. And these are drills. So you don't need the full field. I mean, if you were doing kickoff, kick return, you need at least 70 yards of the field, right?
Correct.
And that's not what this is. So the field layout and just thinking of the drills. One, would you be able to share just a diagram with us that we could put up in our show notes? But the other part is, could you describe it for us right now?
Correct. So let's just go example for, let's do kickoff return. So that'll be on the offensive side of the field. So what we do is we take our receiver coach, he works with our frontline guys, and he'll probably have from the 50 to about the 30 to inside the numbers to work all of his kickoff return drills, meaning get your drop based upon the depth, height, direction of the kick, and then working your fits versus bags. But on the other half of the field is we do what we call kind of like a 40 to 50 yard kickers. We'll like pooch it down to the returners. We will have our second level guys maybe kicking out left, while on the right side of the field, our frontline guys are working from the numbers over to the sidelines. And so we'll do a little pooch kick. We work on our timing, our kickoff return. Second level guys work to get 10 to 12 yards in front of the returner. Then we'll have a couple guys holding the shields coming down so we can fit into it. So it's just how we divide the field up. So basically our kickoff return frontline guys are on maybe the right side of the field, numbers to the sideline. Then our second level guys and our returners with a kicker are working on their timing and fielding the kicks maybe from midfield to the opposite sideline.
So again, looking at then how this translates to game weeks. You mentioned you're able to get 20% of the time. We always, I think, say it's a third of the game, but we know we don't get a third of the time in practice, and it's not a third of the snaps, as you pointed out, it's 13%. So what does that game week schedule look like for you and how you guys are going to organize your practice time and get your work in?
So first of all, I get a lot of time for film install of the game plan on Mondays. I get time before practice. I got a short block each day of practice for maybe a review cuts from practice. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are major work days. We will have 4 to 5 periods per practice for special teams during the week. And so maybe we have the first 12 periods is all offense, defense. That's individual periods, that's group work, maybe a team period. Then we'll go kickoff versus scouts, a 5-minute block, then 2 team periods. And we'll go kickoff return versus scouts, 5-minute period. Then we'll go another 10-minute block a team. Then we'll go punt versus scouts, 5-minute period. Then we have a 10-minute team period. Then we'll go punt return versus scouts, a 5-minute period. And what I do in that last punt return 5-minute period is on the other side of the field, each day we're doing PAT field goal. We got cameras there. We have our offensive line coach. He's timing everything and upgrade everything on tape while I'm working with punt return. So we have actually 5 periods of special teams. I may incorporate the 5th period in with punt return each day. So basically we have 12 full periods for each unit for the total week. Friday during the walkthrough, I have a 12 to 15 minute block to review everything special teams leading into game day Saturday.
So looking at another aspect of this, Coach, game planning this stuff, putting it together, determining here's the best returns from our menu, punts from our menu, what we want to do directionally, all those kinds of things, considerations as you're going through it. How do you guys work through as a staff the game planning portion of this?
So that's great. So really, I always start like the Thursday. So what's that? 9 to 10 days before breaking the film down. And then I try to finalize the game plan on Sunday night. And I'll shoot it out to the staff. And what happens is Monday AM, this is all via Hudl presentation. I do all the cards. I put it into Hudl, everything, all the game cuts, everything we need to do. But Monday AM, I'll present the game plan and the scouting report to the coaching staff, and we'll revise, edit everything. We'll talk about the depth chart, any revisions we have to make. And then Monday night PM, we have bring the team in the evenings, and I install the same game plan for the entire team via Hudl presentation. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I have pre-practice film. And that's pretty much the general outline. Sunday, finalize game plan. AM Monday, work on the coach presentation. And we have full staff buy-in for that. Monday evening, install the entire special teams game plan. They all get it as well. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I have pre-practice film sessions.
What do you like to share this all out in? Is this in Hudl? Do you have another method of sharing all the information with your coaches and players?
No, everything we do, we try to be, can I say, as paperless as possible. And everything is via Hudl presentations. I'll draw my cards up. I'll import it into Hudl and everything. And then I use opponent game plans. We mark up all the opponent scheme and just really use all of our Hudl annotation notes and to make it as clear as possible for our guys. And the great thing about doing that as well is even in my install meeting with the team at night, I emphasize talking to the scout players as well. So they understand your assignment and responsibility to really execute our opponent's scheme to help us get ready for the game on Saturday.
So vision, I know, is a huge word in your program at Grove City. I think all the guys who presented at the D3 Top 25 clinic had that as part of the title of their presentation, or it was really a huge part of it. Obviously, from a cultural standpoint, that's big. But in terms of specialists working on vision and responsibility, what are the things that you focus on over the course of installing this stuff and then the rest of the season?
Right. So what is really neat is with a couple of our coaches we help film, we've had some clinics for our specialists. And so all of my specialists will get all of our drills and techniques in a Hudl clinic film presentation, which is pretty cool. And when the freshmen coming in, they're able to use that as well. I'm a Jamie Cool guy, cool kicking and snapping. And a lot of my guys come in are cool guys, and they can see all the drills and the techniques that we utilize. Everything we do in our football program is vision related, from unit to positional. But I divide up into two. We got our returners. Our returners, we talk about fielding the kicks and all the techniques of how you field a kick, but we also talk about fine green grass. So all of our running backs and receivers, all of our ball handlers, anytime they have a ball in their hand, we say fine green grass, fine green grass. So guess what we do? We tell our returners, field it in fine green grass. So all the language is the same for them. Then you got snappers, you got punters, you got kickers, you got holders. Their vision is what we call just operate in place. If it's a kicker, you must place the ball through the uprights. If it's a punter, if it's a directional punt, or if it's a pooch punt, you must place the ball properly. That's place. If it's a snapper, operate the snap. If it's a holder, operate the placement. And we talk about snap to kick time. Every snap that we take in a practice period, in a team period, in a game, everything is timed. And like as an example, PAT field goal, we want 1.25 and under. Punt, we want 2.1 and under. Snap the hand, we want 0.8. So I do it in practice. I do it on the film. Every snap on practice film, they get their snap to kick times, meaning operation times. So returners field in fine green grass. Snappers, punters, kickers, and holders are operate in place.
The vision part for your returners, I think this is really hard to get reps at, right? You truthfully get them in your full field reps that, yeah, guys are running down and you see the lanes you need to run into, et cetera. As you said, a fine green grass. Maybe you're working off of the jugs or catching off the ball that's coming off somebody's foot, but those are on air a lot of times. So how do you get these guys reps at the vision part of this and giving them that true feel, but do it, I guess, in the most efficient way, because everything can't just be full rep, run down the field kind of stuff?
Right. So I have a drill that we incorporate as much as we can. And it's literally, let's say punt, snapper, punter, gunner, hawk, returner. Snapper goes down the field, and I have one of our punt return guys who does a bill technique. We incorporate that a lot. Snapper, punter, gunner, hawk, returner, bail guy. And so we get multiple kicks and multiple returns versus at least a gunner coming down and a snapper coming down. And we got a hawk versus him, and we got a bail guy working versus a snapper. Then we will progress that to get multiple reps. I like to progress to like the half line part or second level parts where we have, all right, here we go. Right side punt versus left side punt return. And we got half line punt versus a returner. So they're seeing a lot of garbage in front of them. They still have to field it, and they still have to find green grass. So we go progress to the snapper, punter, gunner, hawk, returner drill to a lot of half line stuff on punt return, and kickoff return drills. And then we eventually build in a team. But we go that first drill to half line to team. And we do get a lot of great reps with our returners trying to field it and with a lot of stuff happening in front of them.
For our listeners, if you could define what you referred to as the hawk and the bail guys.
Okay, so our hawk is pretty much our corner locking down the gunners. Our bail guy I have designated on punt return is someone who will bail from the front line and technically execute a kickoff return drop and technique on punt return, and he will be assigned to the snapper running down the field. Because a lot of times teams we face do not have their snappers in the blocking count, and man, they're snapping, they got an automatic free release. And those are the guys that we've really got to lock down as well.
Coach, I appreciate you taking some time here to share these topics with us here during our season series. I certainly would love to have you back and discuss some more ideas for special teams organization, staff organization, terminology, some of the things you and I talked about before we got going. But we appreciate your time, and certainly best of luck to you and the Wolverines here in 2024.
Thanks, Keith, for having us, and go Wolverines.
This episode is brought to you by Experian. Are you paying for subscriptions you don't use but can't find the time or energy to cancel them? Experian could cancel unwanted subscriptions for you, saving you an average of $270 per year and plenty of time. Download the Experian app. Results will vary. Not all subscriptions are eligible. Savings are not guaranteed. Paid membership with connected payment account required.
When it comes to towing, seeing is believing. That's why Chevy Truck's advanced camera technology offers up to 8 available cameras for 14 unique views, so you can focus on the view that really matters. Chevrolet, together let's drive. Learn more about Chevy Trucks at Chevy.com. Safety or driver assistance features are no substitute for the driver's responsibility to operate the vehicle in a safe manner. Read the vehicle owner's manual for important feature limitations and information.
Here are winning edge takeaways and ideas for implementation. 1. Maximize practice time. Whether it's through short, compressed drills or like Coach did in expanding and doubling their time working 2 units at a time on different parts of the field with drills, find ways to maximize the time you utilize for special teams. Get people involved, have everybody understanding the purpose, and get the reps you need to excel at teaching each phase of each unit. 2. Organize your practice week. Understand where exactly you are getting your work. Divide that time up into individual, group, team. Utilizing things like half line give you more reps at a drill in firing one side and the other, especially when you're looking at return units and getting more work for your returners. And 3, work with your specialist. For Grove City, it's about vision and responsibility and operation and placement. Coach talked about those aspects of the game, how they focus on those reps, and they know exactly what they need in the times that they need to be recording for things like operations. Be sure to visit coachandcoordinator.com and check out the 10% Toolkit, which highlights our partners and some of the offers they have to you as a listener. The link to that is in the show notes. Follow all we're doing at coachandcoordinator.com and follow us on X at Coach K. Grabowski.